Hey everyone, we're coming to you with a show a lot earlier than normal. We will be doing a preview show later as well, but I needed to get Brashna on the show. Every time I ask her, because she's so busy, she's a journalist, a budding journalist as well. So she's been doing really great work with regards to the Pakistan team as well. So I needed to get her on to get her expert opinion. So let's get into this because we know we're going to be playing Pakistan, and they're a danger for me, and that's why I made the title what it is because you never know what Pakistan is going to turn up on the day. And when it's South Africa, especially, there is a good, decent, I think it is a quite a respectful rivalry between the two. Whenever we've played Pakistan, whenever they've come down, there's always been a good relationship, even with the journalists and as well as our journalists and as well with the players too. They've always been very open. So I enjoy these matches. It's always fierce, but there's one worry for me. The one worry for me is Shaheen Afridi. I know you can give me some insight into him, Brashna, because I know he's been feeling a little bit off. He said, I think in a in a presser or something recently. Can you give me some insight into him and why he'll be a danger man against South Africa? Because we obviously struggle with swinging the power play.
A
I'll unmute
danger
you.
man has not been very dangerous lately. He was, I think, he's not been himself lately, especially after his injury. I think everybody has seen that. So I'm particularly not I have high hopes when it comes to Shaheen for tomorrow's match, to be honest, because I feel like uh, the conditions are not going to be favoring the Pacers, most likely because they're playing in Sydney. So I don't think Shaheen is going to be big worry for South Africa. I think maybe they have like I would rather be more worried about Haris Rauf or Mohammad Wasim. I think he's been phenomenal, especially against the last two games where he played against Zimbabwe and um, Netherlands. So I
Mm,
think
mm,
I am not particular. I feel like Shaheen is still partially fit, and that has also sparked a huge debate
mm,
in the country about whether he should even be in the squad or not. Because obviously they have rushed his comeback. They did that with Fakhar Zaman as well, and I think we got the news today that he has been ruled out. And Shaheen also has not been entirely fit. He wasn't playing up to the pace. He was hardly reaching
mm.
140, which he usually regularly does. He was
Yeah.
bowling around 130, 135. So there's reduction in pace, there's reduction in his own bowling length. So I think he does not seem 100% fit. He does not seem entirely himself. So I'm not sure how I feel about Shaheen, but I am looking forward to the match.
I had to get that out of the way because I'm a big fan of his. I had a conversation with him when he came to Cape Town and he played his first test, etc., against South Africa, of course. And he's such a nice guy. He was so humble about everything. Like the person you see on the field and the person you see off the field, me personally, was completely two different people. He was so very shy and very humble and very quiet. But when he's on the field, he's insane. It's amazing to watch him play. But Asha, I have to start this conversation actually with asking you what is the feeling around Pakistan currently? What is the feeling actually in the country amongst the fans? Have you sensed any mood from them and what they're feeling towards this game before this game?
I think obviously nobody in the country is really happy with the cricket team right now, especially after the loss against Zimbabwe, which was very surprising because everybody expected them to have a comfortable win against Zimbabwe and to have a win that would actually be an NRR boost. So for them to witness uh, a loss was obviously surprising. And nobody is happy. There are a lot of questions regarding Babar's captaincy. There are a lot of questions about Pakistan having a very conservative approach when it comes to playing power play. Nobody is happy with Rizwan and Babar, although they have a very successful opening partnership for Pakistan in the last few years. But still, people are questioning their approach, that they're not fast enough, that they have a very slow strike rate. So people want them to experiment with new openers, with different openers. Everybody wanted Fakhar to open and Babar to play one down or Rizwan to play one down. So obviously, when you lose, nobody's happy. Everybody wants to fix something. Nobody wants, partially fit players in the squad. So there's a lot of debate. I think before the World Cup, the Pakistan's debate usually revolved around the middle order woes, and now it's revolving around Babar's captaincy, his lack of form. He's not been playing really well. He's had a poor World Cup, so people are questioning that, and nobody's really happy with Rizwan either because of his strike rate. So I think all these things, and I think they're happy with the bowlers because they've done well, but nobody's really happy with the batting unit.
Could never count out those two openers though. You never know with them.
Exactly.
They are so dangerous. HD, I'm gonna give you two questions and to ask Brashna before we get into the like proper preview about Australia and the weather conditions and all of that, because you can give us a nice insight. But go ahead, take it away.
Yeah. So, firstly, pleasure to meet you, Rachna, and it's looking forward to a great game tomorrow. I'll be at the SCG watching
Oh,
as either Pakistan hearts will break or South Africa will start to get the nervous choke feels or not, of not qualifying or making the top two. So it's going to be exciting viewing. I think the first question I'd like to ask is, well, I firstly I don't think Pakistan should change the top order, but because I think Rizwan and Babar are scary, and when they come off, they'll win you the game, right? Are there any changes planned for tomorrow's game, or any whispers? Are they going to try and bring someone in that hasn't perhaps featured in the World Cup so far?
honestly, I don't think they'll have someone who hasn't featured yet. One obvious change is definitely going to be Fakhar Zaman because he has been ruled out because of his injury. So that's a huge blow for Pakistan because Fakhar has previously done well against South Africa. Fakhar does well usually in Australian pitches. He plays well. So there will be no Fakhar Zaman, and I think they'll likely bring back either Asif Ali or Heather Ali because they don't have any other options. And I think Pakistan is likely going to stick with their opener, with their top order, Babar, Rizwan, Shan, and then followed by the usual playing 11. I think they're more likely to play the playing 11 that they did against India, uh, or maybe they just would play Mohammad Wasim as well because he's been really good. So you can't just drop him because of that. But I do expect either Asif Ali or Eder Ali to play in place of Babar. Sorry, Fakhar.
And with that, I guess in hindsight, having someone like Imam ul Haq in this, having if they had selected him to be part of the squad, it would have given this option to try something a bit different, right? If the top order isn't clicking, because from what I've seen of him, he's a good player. And any thoughts on that?
I'm not sure about Imam playing for the T20 side. I think is like I think I've watched him play for Peshawar Zalmi is not really done much for them. I think Imam is also very similar to what Babar or Rizwan plays, his style of playing, and people are already having sick of having a lot of hankered players in the team. So I think what Pakistan really lack, in my opinion, is an attacking batsman, be it in top order or the middle order. We don't have someone like Miller. We don't have someone like Sky, right? So it's I think that's where Pakistan really want is looking for someone. So I think they're more likely to look for players like Azam Khan or players who have a good strike rate because I think Pakistan is secure enough uh, in having players like Babar, Rizwan, Shan Masood is another addition. You guys must have watched it. He's very similar to what Babar and Rizwan does.
Hmm.
So adding Imam in there, I'm not sure how that is going to play out for Pakistan because I think Pakistan is. I personally don't see Imam in the team anytime soon. I guess,
Mm.
but
Mhm.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's really like I think you're looking for players like Fakhar Zaman or uh, you know, Azam Khan,
Azam
Yeah.
for
Khan,
instance. And
yeah,
yeah,
Azam
yeah,
Khan looks good from what I've seen. He can hit the ball quite hard.
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
does. He hits you sixes.
Yeah, it makes sense because from me as a South African's perspective, when I preview this game, I'm like, just get the top two out and you're probably fine against Pakistan, because the middle order is not that necessarily the same as South Africa. And in general, in this particular World Cup, it's the middle orders that have been winning matches a lot of the times in these matches. A lot of the opening partnerships have been failing actually in this World Cup. So it's crazy because obviously the conditions are different. So this is where you come in, HD. What's the conditions like for this game? Is there any predicted rainfall happening, etc.? Because that will be a devastation for Pakistan, of course, more than South Africa.
Cue the drum roll. Conditions look beautiful for tomorrow. I think it's going to be a gorgeous day in Sydney. So we will get a game.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And
I was
from
just
your
going to say.
perspective,
Sorry,
from your
you asked
perspective
the
with
question?
regards,
Sorry.
the connection's also a little bit delayed. From your perspective, because the conditions are the way they are, Sydney again, do we go with the same team that we played with at Sydney the last time? Do you make any changes? Let's talk about the lineup a little bit. And then, Brashna, I want you to answer this question. Who are you most worried about in the South African lineup?
You want to answer now?
You can think about it, because there might be more than one. There might be more than one that you might be thinking of, so you can take your time. I'll give it to HD first.
Yeah, look, it's a tough call. It's a tough call for South Africa. I mean, makes sense. You got to bring Shamsi back. It's a spinner's wicket. I think he took 2 wickets last game he played there for not many. So what's the call here? Who sits out? Lungi and Gidi just blew India away. Anrik Nortje is throwing thunderbolts down. Rabada, you can't drop Rabada. And Parnell also bowled beautifully, and he can bat a bit. So tough call to make at this point. I think if 2 spinners are going to play, maybe they'll have to ask Rabada to sit out. That's my thoughts.
A major call. Brashna?
I think like you said, there are a lot of players to be worrying about. I think South Africa's T20 team is one of the strongest teams in the tournament so far, the way they've been playing. They are currently the only unbeatable side in the event so far. And I think the only advantage that Pakistan has over South Africa is the psychological win, because somehow South Africa always end up losing to Pakistan in the T20 World Cups. So the player that I am mostly worried for is obviously David Miller. You can never ever count him out. I think what he did against India, we all saw that. David Miller always performs against Pakistan as well. So I think not just me, everyone in Pakistan is worried about how Miller is going to perform. Russo, I think you can never write off Russo. He just like scored a century last time he played in Sydney. So there's Russo, there's Quinton. I think South Africa is a very strong batting unit, so you can expect anyone to perform. Luckily, the conditions are going to be spinner friendly, so I don't have to be worried about Rizwan facing a lot of downs like what we saw the Indian openers face the other day. So I'm hoping that Rizwan would do well tomorrow. But I think, yeah, Shamsi, of course, I think everyone has that potential that you need to be aware. Like I can't just take one name. There's so many. So Miller, I think, of course, Shamsi and Nokia, and they're all.
So you're scared of the whole squad?
I am literally, because I think I do. After Pakistan, I follow South Africa cricket a lot, and I think I love the game that they played. But I have to be honest. I think what they did to Bangladesh in Sydney, we all saw. I think so. You can never take them light. Pakistan do have a strong bowling unit, but we don't know. I think it's going to be an exciting game. That's for sure.
You do not understand how happy that makes me to hear that, because I've been waiting for people to rate us as one of the best teams going into this T20 World Cup. I thought that nobody was going to rate us, actually. There was a lot of some mixed speculation about South Africa going into this World Cup, actually. From a South African point of view, I think South Africans are maybe just very hard on our teams. So, like, we think our teams are rubbish, even though the rest of the world maybe think they're good. So it's crazy. HD, from your perspective, let me ask you, who do you think is going to worry South Africa from Pakistan's side? Because I'm worried about one particular spinner.
Right. Shadab Khan or... Yeah. Well, I actually have a different. I have a different point of view on that. I think I'm inclined to believe. I'm inclined to believe you hit the nail on the head there, Ashna. The fact that Harris Ralph is bowling as fast as he is, and he's played in the BBL for quite a few years. He's been taught. He's played at Sydney many times. I think Harris Ralph is the one to watch out for. He's got experience. He's in good form. I think he can really, he can really nip out some of the big bats for South Africa.
Selectors are calling. The selectors are calling. No, joking.
And then on a batting front, I think you can't rule out Babar Azam. He hasn't scored any runs this tournament, so he's probably due. And Sydney's the kind of ground that really rewards good stroke play. I think it'll really suit his. I think this will be a really good game for Babar tomorrow. And my thoughts: win the toss, definitely bat first, get some runs on the board, and get a total up.
So, Brashna, let's get your final words. Take us home.
I think definitely agree with that. I think toss is going to be really, really crucial in tomorrow's game. Even in this World Cup, I think all the matches that have played, the teams that have batted first, I think they've been able to put huge scores and win comfortably. So I think I agree that whichever team bats first will have an advantage over the other. And yeah, it will be exciting. I don't want to be too confident, but I feel like Pakistan might go in. On paper, South Africa is a stronger team, obviously, but psychologically and historically speaking, Pakistan have an advantage.
Knockout, especially in games that are considered knockouts. This is considered a knockout for Pakistan. That's why they're so dangerous.
That's just typical Pakistan, right? They'll end up losing to Zimbabwe and then beat the best team of the tournament. That's just what Pakistan does. So
please don't do that tomorrow.
I think even if South Africa loses tomorrow, they'll still end up qualifying. They have their last game against Netherlands, so they'll be easy. I think Pakistan, the win matters more to Pakistan than it does to South Africa. So,
yeah, I agree with that. I think there's more on the line for Pakistan, and I think we've kind of touched on it a few times throughout this chat. There are two Pakistans. There is the Pakistan. Like, I have this opinion that anyone that's ever worn the Pakistani shirt is so blessed with talent, but then sometimes lose their minds when they're playing for their country, right? So there are two Pakistans: the Pakistan that'll blow any team away, and then the Pakistan that'll find a way to lose to a side that's nowhere near as good as them. I think tomorrow is going to be it's going to be fire and brimstone. I think Pakistan going to come out hard and try break South African hearts, but let's see. Fingers crossed we get a good game, hey?
Because in the last World Cup, I really thought you guys were going to take it all the way. Actually, I was really looking at it and I was like, whoa, this team is on fire at the moment. So it was quite a shock that it ended up happening, that Australia, the team that I thought, I wasn't so worried about Australia until the first game happened. And then I was like, oh my Lord, what is happening? What is happening here now? So yeah, I'm excited about the game though. I'm looking forward to a good contest. So I'm hoping for a South African win. Obviously, Brashna as well, hoping for something else. And we know we've converted HD for as a Proteas fan. So yeah, he's actually a Proteas fan. He says he's Aussie, but he loves the Proteas. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please go and watch our live show from Faf du Plessis' book launch. We had an opportunity to speak to some fans, a journalist for those who spoke to us about the game. We spoke to Faf about the game as well as other things in his career. But mainly go and watch it because of the preview almost for the Pakistan game and for the World Cup in general. So please go and watch that, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching and for tuning in. Don't forget to do all the things that I like you guys to do, like download the magazine and become Patreons, etc. The links are in the description. Thanks a lot for watching. Brashna, thanks a lot for giving us your time. I know it was a long time coming, but thank you for coming on the show.
And HD2, thank you for having me over. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you.
Pleasure as always. See you guys.
See you. Bye.